the next picture was shot, and this is the last series I did for a fashion magazine, and it was I was thinking a lot, as we all have been. Anyone who's been conscious or lives in the world today, watches the news, we all know about the climate and it's changing. We know about the polar ice caps melting. We hear about all these things, and it really does instill fear. And I did these photographs because my mother, she lives in Florida, and I was down visiting, and I had to leave, and her and my sister were taking the windows and putting boards on the windows, and I helped them do that, and then I left. In that year, we had so many hurricanes. So I said, I want to do pictures about this. We're still shopping and obsessed with shopping, obsessed with collecting and accumulating. I'm going to be happy when I have 400 pairs of shoes, because now I only have 399 pairs of shoes, but the 400th pair, that's going to be the one where I'm going to be happy, and go to the next. So when you lose everything, when everything's gone, what do you do? When the hurricane comes, when the wind blows, when those things happen, what do you do? Where do you go? That's what these pictures are about. But what happened here, not only was it my last photo session for a fashion magazine, something strange happened. I shot these pictures, and there's about a 3-month period between when you shoot something and it gets into the magazine. It takes about 3 months, 2 to 3 months. Well, it did for Italian Vogue. I shot these pictures, and 3 months later, they ran them in Italian Vogue, and they were on the newsstand. At the moment when Katrina, that big hurricane in America, that was like, only second to 9/11 in the recent history of tragic things, of catastrophes, monumental catastrophes. So these pictures were on the newsstand when Katrina happened. I wasn't talking about Katrina specifically, but I was talking about this idea of climate change. The magazine got a lot of angry letters, and the editor called me, and she said, "What are you doing? Everyone thinks you're making a comment on hurricanes." And I said, I am. And this is when I knew, along with a lot of other reasons, this is when I knew I couldn't go on anymore. This was it. I was done in this way, working for magazines. I couldn't do it anymore. I had run out of space. They didn't have space for me. My ideas were too challenging, maybe, or I don't know. But I mean, I was showing the clothes. I was doing my job. I mean, they want to see the clothes. They want to see the shoes. I was doing my thing, but it got very difficult, and I couldn't go backwards. So what I did was I quit. I quit working, and there's something really strange about that idea from myself, because all my life I struggled. I went from being a little kid in school, wanting to be an artist, and coming to New York, and trying to, literally not having electricity or a telephone, and having, okay, I have $5 this weekend. What am I going to? I would go to the store and get tofu, and I'd get some bean sprouts at the Korean market, and watching every dime, and then forget about the photo bills. It was so expensive, So I had this, how can I quit? It's like blasphemy. It was like a sin. I'd never said no. I had never said no to a job. And I just had it, and I couldn't, and my heart wasn't in it anymore. My heart, I've lived intuitively, and intuition is so important for all of us, whether you're an artist or anything, listening to we all know what's right and wrong inside for us. We all know. We don't have to think about it. We can. But the big decisions in our life, we feel it. But we can only feel it if we're quiet, if we get away from our cell phone, if we get away from our computers, if we get away from our Facebook and our MySpace, and get away from our friends and our family and our talking and our running and our going, and we just stop, and we go somewhere quiet. And for me, that was nature. That was the woods. And I would go to the woods, and I would just sit there and try to figure things out. And I knew that it was time to quit. I couldn't do it anymore. Yet I was making all these temptations of the world. The world had worldly things, big name, expense accounts, money. This is boom years. I didn't quit in the crash. I quit when it was boom town, New York and America. I was being flown everywhere. It was like first class. Everything was like, very fast. I was making lots of money, but that's not why I became a photographer. It was never the reason. I wanted to take famous photos. I never wanted to be famous, but I wanted my pictures to be seen because I wanted to share my art. I think every artist wants to share. Whether you're a singer and you have a beautiful voice, you don't want to just sing in the shower. You want to sing to an audience because you want to share with them. That's the whole idea. It's not ego, look at me, it's all about, it's not. That's not true art. That's not the motivation. It's not the motivation to be an artist, I just wanted to have enough money to survive. So here I was quitting. So to quit meant, who am I now? My whole life had been defined by photography. And I had saved money, and I bought this land. It was on the island in Hawaii, in Maui, and it was very isolated, and we were making a farm, so that's what I did. I moved to Hawaii, to Maui, to the jungle, to the rainforest, and I thought, well, I'm going to be a farmer now. And I thought, I really didn't know where to go. I wanted to take more pictures. I didn't have any place to put them. I didn't have anywhere to put my photographs, but there were no more magazines. I didn't want to work in the world of fashion. I didn't celebrity. It was done. It was finished. So I just walked into this unknown, but my heart told me that was the way to go. Well, if I listened to this, I'd still be running around like an idiot, like I did. But I listened here instead. I chose to live intuitively. I made that decision.